Hey guys, Freddy here. Well, I got some news last week. I've been accepted into a 12-month work study program at a hospital as a chaplain. So I'll be learning how to be a chaplain while I'm actually getting some experience. So that's pretty awesome. Until you consider the fact that means the end of subbing. No, don't worry, I'll still re-up my contract, because I will still have weekends I gotta work, and then they're gonna give me days during the week off, so you know that I'm gonna do what I can to sub during those comp days, but pretty much means the end of subbing. Now, I always knew that this would be a temporary venture, and I didn't realize how impactful it would be. So I got to thinking, is it better to say goodbye to people, or is it better to just ride off into the sunset without giving a look back even? Well, that depends on what you're saying goodbye to and who you're saying goodbye to. But I would always err on the side of say goodbye. Whenever you're leaving something important, absolutely say goodbye. Whenever you're leaving people who mean a lot to you, absolutely say goodbye. You owe it to them to tell them goodbye. So long, and thanks for all the memories or whatnot. Because back in the day, back in my college days, I thought, hey, wonder what it'd be like if I just rode off into the sunset without saying goodbye to people. Few of the people there, I ended up not saying goodbye to, and whatever. Like last time that I told them see you later, I ended up never seeing them again. And I was like, okay, whatever. But there was one person who I meant a lot to, and she meant a lot to me. Not like that. And she graduated with her master's the same time I graduated with my bachelor's, so we actually had a joint graduation ceremony. And she came up to me afterwards and said, hey, congratulations, what's next for you? And I was like, well, congratulations to you too, what's next for you? And actually, she invited me to come visit her over the summer. I had no intention of doing that. Then, her family came over and said hi to her. She got distracted, and I took off. I regretted it ever since. I mean, that does does technically count as a goodbye, but I never actually said, I'm never going to see you again. I don't lose sleep over it, but it's just that nagging, I should have said goodbye. We're still Facebook friends. She had an awesome career, got an awesome husband now. So I guess I didn't really say goodbye, but still. Always err on the side of saying goodbye. I have been on the receiving end of no goodbye before. Like some lady who actually held a couple of really important positions in my church. Just one Sunday, someone says something mean to her, and she texts me after the service and says, "Oh, by the way, I'll never come back so long as I live, and I'm giving up my positions." And I was calling and texting and texting and calling and calling and texting, being like, what happened? And she just completely shoved me to the side and said, "I don't want to talk about it. I don't ever want to be here again. No offense. It's not you, but..." And man, that hurt, because we were like that. But oh well. But it just goes to show, err on the side of saying goodbye. That being said, when do you not say goodbye to people? Well, whenever you need to get out of a toxic situation, pretty much it'll speak for itself. If they come around and you're not there, and you know what you did wrong, that goodbye kind of speaks for itself. And then if you're the one in the toxic situation, just leave. You don't need to say goodbye to someone who's going to treat you horribly. But in the case of the lady from my church, yeah, someone said something really wrong to her, but she also took it out on me and the people who were around that did not treat her terribly. And what's even worse is the person who said the thing to her, immediately apologized and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that." So sometimes a goodbye is not even warranted, because you shouldn't even be leaving in the first place. Basically, goodbyes are warranted unless there are hurt feelings involved, in which case not saying goodbye is okay, because there are already hurt feelings. Not saying goodbye hurts a lot of feelings, but if there are already hurt feelings, you're not going to harm anyone by not saying goodbye. first vlogs I made on this channel, I had just had to cut ties with somebody who really stabbed me in the back pretty hard. And he was trying to take advantage of me, complain about me, put whispers in my ear about people that I cared about, and not to mention calling me a coward every time he came around. So basically, one day I finally told him, enough. If you're gonna act like that, I'm not gonna bring you around anymore. And then the next day he texted and was like, hey, I'm sorry for this one particular thing. And then I called him out on some other things that he would not apologize for, and I was like, dude, just shut up, go away. And then I tried to say thanks for apologizing, but he hung up the phone at me when I said for. So, their goodbye's not worth it because there are already hurt feelings involved. But for the most part, err on the side of saying goodbye. I realize that goodbyes are very, very painful. But it's not really the goodbye itself that's painful. It's the act of leaving that's painful. And when you say goodbye, that just sort of cements the fact that you're gone or they're gone. And if you don't get that closure, it'll haunt you. And it'll be bad for the people who you did not say goodbye to, because they'll be wondering what they did wrong. If you can prolong a goodbye, go ahead and do it. But if you need to nip something in the bud, burn that bridge, or whatever, and prolonging that goodbye is only going to hold you back, just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm still going to substitute for a couple of weeks before my work-study program starts, because I'll have nothing better to do, really. But I also owe it to my students who I've been around for 7 whole years to say goodbye, no hard feelings. You guys are the best. I mean, this whole channel was created kind of as a prolonging of that goodbye, so that people can keep track of what I'm doing, even though I'm not around. Oh, don't worry. You'll be seeing a lot more of me on here, because my work-study program is going to be a long drive. But you probably won't be seeing me in person come September. But Because if you ride off into the sunset, you're going to regret it.